Welcome back to Iron Rage, the show where John Romano, Lee Priest, the unruly one, and I vent our frustrations with the world. Today's topic is people who feel that they need to get, I guess you could say, measured in these various crazy ways, DEXA scans, hydrostatic tank measurements, to know if they're in shape or not. John, Lee Priest, good to have you both back. I'm annoyed and irked. I have these clients who send me these DEXA scans on a weekly basis. It's usually the people that are in the absolute worst shape, who don't lose any weight every month, or every week I should say, who send me these readouts. They're like 14 pages long about, their body fat, how much water they have on their body, how much lean muscle they have. And I mean, what happened to the mirror and pictures? Why do people feel that data is more important than how they freaking look? It drives me fucking crazy, John.
Yeah, I have this issue with mine that when they check in on Friday, I like to have a body fat measurement to hold against the scale and see if, preferentially, I would like their weight to either stay the same or go up and their body fat percentage to go down. That's what I would like.
Right.
But the problem is that, especially when you're really lean, is that you start splitting hairs. So you can't use the DEXA scan one week and a hydrostatic tank the next week and a skin dex the week after that and a caliper the week after that and this bioimpedance scale the week after that. You got to do it the same way every week under the same conditions so that your skin has got the same amount of water under it. Whether you had just done cardio or taken a shower or eaten, it all affects how much your skin fold is going to change or how much your bioimpedance is going to change. And at least you got to be able to provide a consistent number every week. And if you're going to create all this data, at least give me one number that I can freaking use.
The only number you need is a picture from the front and the back, and you can see if people lose weight by comparing last week's pictures with this week's pictures. Okay, that doesn't lie. These scanners don't do anything. Didn't you ever get into one of these scanners in your life? I go on these bioimpedance things, and my body fat's 26%. When I was competing, because my weight and height, for my weight, or for my height, I should say, my weight was too high. They don't take into account all this stuff. Data doesn't mean anything. The pictures and the mirror are what tell the whole story, as far as I'm concerned.
I think you need both. I think you need, especially when you're splitting hairs, in the contest shape. I mean, I like to know, especially if I'm trying to push, the amount of food I'm trying to give them. I like to know which way their body fat is going. Also, I want to know how quickly it's coming off.
Lee, when you're urinating into Big Lenny's mouth, and he assesses your body fat, don't you think that's a much better assessment than any of these machines?
Yeah, he normally tells me if it's too acidic or the nitrogen's a bit high, just by the taste. But I think people that do that are fucking idiots. Move on, next subject. Now, the best thing, when I used to get ready for contests, like you said, the mirror was my main gauge and my weight training belt. When I finally got down to the last hole and needed more holes, I pretty much knew I was in shape. I never had any scans done. I think I had those calipers done once on the pinching test thing, but we had pinched from 9 or 7 different sites. But even that shit, you just go by the mirror. It's like, you can't go by these DEXA scans and people want to weigh themselves in water and shit. You're getting too scientific. Like we've always said, bodybuilding's basic, training's basic, diet's basic, and they're trying to overcomplicate it again. Like you said, they're going up and down, and we all know that you can just change. I know women are bad for it when they get ready for contests. They're like, oh, I'm up a couple of kilos or I'm down a kilo, I'm up a kilo. It's just your water weight's going to fluctuate day by day by day just by stress, training, and different foods sometimes. You're going to hold on to water. So, the mirror is the best thing you need to go by. Like you said, a picture from the front and back, and you can tell by your clothes and that sort of thing. If you can see more vascularity coming out, you can see more cross striations coming out. You're getting pretty lean if the jawline's coming right out. Yeah. It's like I said, some people just think they've got to get real scientific with this shit when you don't. A lot of people are making a ton of money out of all these scanning things and that and this sort of stuff. But all you need is a mirror and someone that's honest. But in this sport these days, finding someone that's honest saying you still look like shit is hard to find. So, they got their best mates. Oh no, you can go on stage right now. You can go on stage right now. Then they walk on stage, you're like, oh fuck, he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready for that. So
don't you find
honest?
Don't you find that guys love to get girls too? They love to get measured for things when they think they look good. When they're unhealthy or they're suffering probably and they need to go to the doctor and get their blood pressure taken or a CAT scan or a cardiac CT scan or an echocardiogram, no one wants to go. No one wants to know anything about themselves. They don't want to get blood work done. But when they're in contest shape, they can't wait to have someone pinch their skin or throw them into a water tank and measure them and tell them how great they are.
What about the ones that then they used to come online and post 1% body fat, 2% body fat? It's like, fuck off. You'd be in hospital almost dead, you fuckwit. I think, it's like, I think the lowest we ever got was probably in the high 4s and shit, and you feel like crap then. Right. So even some of these marathon runners don't get down to 1 or 2%, but yet these bodybuilders post 2% body fat, 2% fucking brain cells. That's about what you fucking got. But just ridiculous. And like you said, they always want to post it up so they can show, look here on the paper, it says 2% or 4%. But I was like you once, Dave. I stepped on one of those silly scales where you got to put in your weight and height and stuff like that. And this was probably like 3 days before I won the Ironman. Nick told me I was around the same, 28% body fat, 2 days. 2 days before the contest. But even when I lived in America, for me, getting health insurance was hard. I remember once I had to hide in the other room when they came around because when I put down my height and body weight, I come up as I was obese, so I went shit. So when I put down, I was 5'5". I put down my body weight as 145 pounds, so I could get health insurance.
That's what I should have done. I wouldn't have got denied. It's funny because you see these people say they're 1% body fat, Lee, and I always, what I say to them? I'm like, if you're 1% body fat, how come you don't look like Andreas Munzer looked like when he competed? What was he, negative 1% body fat?
Oh, yeah, you see it all the time. Especially, you always find it's more with, not even sometimes bodybuilders, it's just those guys that like to put pictures of their abs online and stuff like that and say 2% this, 2% that. Yeah, you got fucking 2% muscle, you skinny little fucking greyhound. That's about all. It's a fucking bodybuilding show, not a fucking dehydration fucking
imagine
to look like an Ethiopian.
Imagine if you had a post muscle percent instead of
right. John, but haven't you seen these people? They contact you. They're like, they lost like 5 pounds or something like that because it's the first week. They probably dropped a lot of water. They're like, according to my scan, I lost 5 pounds of muscle this week, lean muscle, and I gained 2 pounds of fat. No, you fucking dumb ass. You lost all the water you were holding. It drives me nuts. I can't stand it. I don't know how to tell people. I say, stop sending me data. Just send me pictures, please. All I want is pictures.
After these people shouldn't get scans, because the ones at the gym, they walk around, they say, what are you weighing? I'll be like, right now I'm like 240 pounds. They're like, I'm 320. And you look at them, you're like, yeah, you're 320 bag of fucking shit. It's like if you dieted down, you'd probably be fucking 120. Like if they got a scan, they'd probably be like 10% muscle, fucking 60, 80% water and fat. It's like some of those people just walk around the expos because I'm this big, I'm tall. It's like, yeah, the only reason you're 300 pounds is because you're fucking heavy boned. There ain't no fucking muscle on it, that's for sure.
By the way, hold on. By the way, any of my clients who are watching, this applies to none of you guys. I don't want to get any crying emails. I'm not singling out any of you guys. It applies
to all of Dave's clients.
I'm talking about ex-clients.
And any of his clients that are thinking about it, don't fucking do it.
Right. It's funny. We did a rant on once.
Go see John Romano. He likes the data. Go see John.
I did a rant once on like hidden calories. People who use dummies who use like sugar-free ketchup thinking it's got no carbs. I had like 4 people like sending me these like these crying, I guess you could say, admission emails saying, I was doing the same stupid thing. Thank God you did that video.
I told this one client where he told her, based on her blood work, you really need to drink more water. You look very dehydrated based on a couple of these readings. So next week she sends me her DEXA scan and it says like the percent water. And it was higher than last week. So she said, well, my water's up. That's good.
Yeah, but your fat was up too, 30%.
What about the ones that go get all their blood work done, then they give them a diet, they say, according to my blood work, I can't eat that type of food. I have to eat this food for my blood work.
You're right, Lee. People come back with these allergy food testing things. They're like, I can't eat chicken anymore. I'm like, why not? They said I'm allergic to it. I'm like, you've been eating it for 20 years and you never had a problem, though.
Well, no,
that's why they're fat.
That's why they're fat. It's not fat, it's histamine. It's an allergic reaction.
I'm allergic to chicken too. Every time I eat, I get fatter. Not that.
You're eating Kentucky Fried Chicken. That's why.
Well, it's chicken, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, you got to quit getting it from Kentucky.
Yeah.
I take half the skin off it, so that's okay, isn't it?
Skin is not bad, actually.
Got to eat fat to burn fat.
That's right. Yeah. It's not the fat that's the problem with the Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's the breadcrumbs on the outside or whatever that coating is they put on there.
Have you noticed the war on keto lately, Dave?
No. I thought that's in vogue now, keto.
No. As is the war on it, because the more it becomes in vogue, the louder the camp to the antagonists are.
Yeah. Vegans in vogue. Yes. They had a thing here now. There's a shoe shop that when you go in, they ask you, do you want to try on the vegan shoes? Because they've got vegan shoes now for vegan people.
It's made from plant butter, not animal. Oh my
fucking
God.
hell, go strap a fucking leaf on your foot and fucking walk around, you stupid cunts. You want to be a vegan.
You know how you watch these science fiction movies where like you have like these it's like 10,000 years in the future, and it's like these one people, they live underground. And then the people who live upper ground, they're like the vegans, and they're like so happy-go-lucky. And the ones down underground are eating each other.
Warlocks.
They're like cannibals. They're like eating each other. You know, that's what it's like becoming in this country, machine, between the vegans and the meat
Time
eaters.
Machine movie. Remember Rod Taylor in the Time Machine? The Morlocks.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. The Time Machine, right? Good catch.
I think the human race has already peaked. You know, we sort of come along from Stone Age and went up here and we invented good shit. And now we've got to here and social media and smartphones come in, and now we're fucking dumbed out and we're on the decline. This is the end of the human race. We're getting fucking dumber.
I'm thinking that the people who are sick of of all the other people, we should just split. Let's move underground. No one can bother us. We'll have our computers there and everything like that, and we can do whatever we want. And then the people up on top of the ground could fry in the sun, you know, and could eat grass and whatever else they want to do, right?
I'm sure you're at the Libya Expo too, walking around, Dave, thinking, fuck, if we're going underground, we better go quick because the world's at a fucking end.
That's right. That's exactly why I want to go underground, because I know when something goes wrong, at least I'll survive underground, you know?
Because you can eat all the bodybuilders.
That's right. Yeah.
Haven't you been underground before, Dave, in hiding at some point in your life?
I'm still underground, Lee. We're broadcasting from a secret bunker in Cape Coral, Florida.
Secret silo. You're one of those doomsday people I see on TV that live in the silos underground.
Yes. Yeah. What was that movie? Remember that movie with Christopher Walken? They lived underground. It was, I think, who was in it? Brendan Fraser was in it too. They were living. Christopher Walken was his dad. They were living in a bunker. They thought there was a nuclear war like 25 years earlier.
I remember the one. Yeah. I think it was called Alice in Wonderland.
No, that was it.
Fell down the rabbit hole and that. Yeah, I remember. I do remember the one though. Yeah, he thought there was no outside world, and then when he came out, there was like this whole world out there.
They didn't know. Yeah, they had to go up to get supplies. It was like 25 years they were underground or something like that, and they thought there had been a nuclear war, but there really wasn't.
Well, you had that other movie that wasn't underground, but that M. Night Shyamalan's The Village. Remember, we had those people in the village, and they thought they were living in a different world, and then a plane flew over one day, and they're like, "What the hell is that?"
That was a good movie.
No,
so anyway, getting back to the topic at hand, John. I mean, what do you tell your clients when you ask them to send you weekly updates? What's the data you're looking for?
What I ask them for is very simple. I want to get their waking body temperature every day. I want to get their body fat measurement once a week, their weight once a week, and of course I got to write down everything they ate and everything they consumed, whatever went into their body. That's all I want. And then I'm just looking for it for me remotely. I mean, I just like pictures are great, and I think that's really the telltale of all is the pictures and how the clothes fit and how people are telling you they look. But I just like I just like a simple body fat measurement as a tool, to include, with the rest of what I'm looking for to just help them get to where they want to go.
Yeah, but John, if you got this measurement and they told you they lost 2% body fat this week, which would be a good amount of body fat to lose, obviously,
awesome.
Okay?
Yeah.
But they didn't look any better in the pictures, would you make changes?
Well, no, it depends. I only credit that body fat measurement if it's taken under the narrowest of circumstances.
Well, how do you know? They're going to tell, let's say they tell you it's done the same time of day every week. I take a shit, I go to the gym, they measure my body fat, I eat my breakfast.
Okay, so that's constant. And if it reads higher, and it depends on a few things. How close to the show are we? How much?
No, let's say we're 6 weeks out from the show. They come back, they tell you I lost 2% body fat. They send you a picture. You look at the picture, and you know they look worse.
They look worse. I don't know. Maybe they look flat.
But then you have clients like I used to have. You tell them to write down everything to eat, and then you're like, well, I can't understand why you're not losing weight. Then you're like, well, there was that packet of chips I had in between this, and then there was this and that. It's like you tell them to write down everything you put in your mouth, but yet they just leave out certain objects. Well, I didn't think that really mattered. I only had a couple of them, and only had a couple of. Then you have the other ones that go too far, and they write, I had 2 peanuts. I put this in my mouth. I had a drink, and then I had a banana, and then I put some cock in my mouth, and then I put this in my mouth. It's like then they go overboard and tell you everything.
I'd rather know too much than too little. But the bottom line is, I think what happens is on weekly updates,
you're an idiot.
They give you too much data that's unnecessary. I have created an update chart that I want filled out. Okay, which includes, how much they weigh, how many weeks to the show, how much weight they lost from the last update, what fat burners they're on, how much cardio they're doing, and what their diet is. That together with their pictures tells me the whole story. I don't want to know anything else after that because then I get too confused with all the data. I know what data points are necessary, and I know what data points are going to give me accurate information. Sometimes giving people too much information is no good. Now, if someone cheats, I want to know about it, but I don't want to know if you didn't, and also look, if you haven't gone to the bathroom and pooped in 3 days, that's a relevant data point as well, because that could account for why you didn't lose any weight. But if someone tells me that they lost, so many percentage points in body fat and gained this many pounds of muscle, but they look like crap in the pictures compared to the week before, I discredit all that. That's why I don't even want to know about that because I don't think these machines are accurate. The way you're judged on a bodybuilding stage by the way you look, okay? If you look worse, even though your data points are better, that doesn't mean anything. That's a failure in my book.
I just go by pictures, the same time every week in the same lighting. Don't try and, because some will try and get this overhead lighting so they look fucking great in the kitchen. And then next time they'll try and, or bathroom, that overhead, that heat light, the heat lamp light gives you a nice orange shadow film, or they go get the sunlight sometimes, but you need the same lighting every week so you can just see it. Then it's like, that's all I go by, and then the food and stuff like that. And if you look like shit, I say you look like shit. What have you been doing? So it's like, it's like I said, we've been doing this long enough to know that if you're on a clean diet, you're training hard, you're doing the cardio, you're doing your sups and that, things would be going good. You'll be losing weight, you'll be looking better. So when someone starts looking worse, they're either fucked up and they're cheating, or they're just not meant to be a bodybuilder, so go play golf, you stupid cunt.
How about this one, John? How about this one? That guys that have darker skin always look better in pictures. And sometimes I get really bamboozled by the pictures. There are some black guys that I work with, they look so good in pictures that I don't believe it sometimes. And I'm like, send me a video because I want to see them moving. Because you know what? The shadows catch their black skin great, and they look harder than they really are sometimes. So you got to know how to read your pictures too, because if these competitors are in the UK and you're here in the United States, you got to be able to tell if the pictures are getting better. That's why I always have people weigh themselves. The scale doesn't lie. If you're gaining weight,
well, it's true.
You don't look better.
You just have to watch the Olympic Games sometimes. I watch those marathon runners in the Olympic Games, and you see that guy from Kenya that's been running from lines his whole life. He's built like this because he's dark and he's sweating under the sun out there. You think, fuck, he's athletic, isn't he? Then you see the poor guy from London who's pale running behind him. Looks like he's fucking dying of AIDS. What the fuck? they're built the same, but cause one starter who looks athletic and the other guy looks like he's on his last days of fucking chemo.
Have you seen this? Did you see the guy who broke the world record? Some Kenyan guy or something like that in the marathon. He's like 2 hours, almost like 2 hours and 1 minute or something like that. Can you believe it?
Well, look at them. Like I said, they're running in a country where all they got is fans yelling at them, come on, come on, come on. And he's like thinking, this is a fucking breeze. He's like, normally when I'm doing this at home, I got fucking tigers behind me, fucking lions chasing me. He's like, this is fucking great. All I've got is people cheering me on. He goes, normally when I'm training at home, I'm running for my fucking life. Black Panthers up a fucking tree. I don't know who's going to jump in.
When I was running back in the 80s, the world record in the marathon was 2 hours and 6 minutes. It's 5 minutes less now, 30 years later. That's insane. That
Well,
5 minutes less.
If you want some of those Americans to start winning the marathons, what you got to do is how they have those cars behind them with the flashing lights. To make the American guys run faster, turn the sirens on. Then they'll fucking start running. So, you know, they'll be thinking, oh, fuck, they're going to come get me. They're going to come get me. Black Lives Matter. Better fucking run. Better fucking run.
I just
true.
find
Just-
it to
just try
I
it.
think the athletics today are so superior to what they were when we were kids. Like, I look at the gymnastics routines. You know, my wife's into gymnastics and everything. I see the routines from like the 80s, and then I look at them now. I'm like, holy mackerel! The kids look like they don't even know what they're doing. Like, the gymnastics are so easy and simplistic 30 years ago. Nowadays, it's like, oh my God, the level of expertise has gone up and difficulty has gone up to such a crazy degree. Where do we go from here? What's it going to look like in another 30 years? You know?
Remember pole vaulting when they changed from the
Yes.
whatever pole they were using to the carbon fiber, the composite pole, and
Yeah.
like from one year to the next, like the record went from like wherever it was, and then it went up like 4 feet.
Yeah.
I was actually watching that the other day. They had a thing on TV of the pole vaulting. I was thinking, how hard must that be? You got to get that right in the hole, and then the thing bends right back like this, and then you got to throw yourself up.
Those guys
over
are
that
all
bar
nuts.
type thing.
They're all crazy,
Crazy.
those guys.
Crazy.
That's got to be the craziest.
You know who would have
sport.
been a good pole vaulter? I reckon Blackman, because he could run and get that thing in the hole so quick. He would have made a great pole vaulter. Oh,
Feel my tricep. Feel it. Feel it. Feel my tricep.
No, it was
Yeah,
just
My lat. Get my
his
lat.
lat.
My lat.
I got
Feel
my
that.
I
Feel
got my
that.
pole in the hole. I just can't get over.
The show always deteriorates back to Steve Blackman at the end. You ever noticed that?
You know, you need to see that shelf you got behind you with the supplements on there. You need to have a photo of Steve sitting on that shelf, a 10x8, I think. It's like a missing member of the family on the shelf there, someone that's passed on. We could just have him on the shelf.
That's right. There you go. Well, the take-home message today, guys, is if you're dieting for a competition, it's all about the mirror. It's all about the pictures. Remember, if you don't look better, who cares what your numbers are? And take that to the heart. If you only get in what you put out, and you know
John
what?
cares.
Don't
John
be overly
cares.
concerned with data. Data doesn't mean anything if you're not putting in the work and doing the diet. And that's my message for today, guys. Thanks so much. It's great to have you both back, John Romano, Lee Priest. From both of you guys and our producer Tyler Shore, I'm Dave Palumbo. We'll see you next time.
Tyler, are you sure?
Tyler, the editor.
Yes.